yellow truck. Bet they both gon' clear the scene. Watch me do 100 miles per hour when the light turn green. You know you can't ride with us if you can't show the bubble beat. Once you hit a revving on the engine, you know what that means. Red car, yellow truck. Bet they both gon' clear the scene. Watch me do 100 miles per hour when the light turn green. You know you can't ride with us if you can't show the bubble beat.
What up, peoples? It seems like I'm always doing something right. So, y'all know I load the rear. And once I load the rear, you know, it looks better. I love it. You know, all that stuff, right? It's as low as I can get it to go. It's a 5 3/4 inch drop in the rear. Now, the front is now the problem. As you could look, I want my gaps to be, obviously I know they're not going to be even because as of right now, I got these stock size tires, which are 265/70 R17 on here. But when I put the 2810s on the rear, you know what I mean? Of course, the rear even drops even smaller because the wheel diameter is only 28 inches versus these being like, I don't know, 32 or 33. But look at that gap. And now look at this gap. My tape measure's in the other truck, and my lady got the other truck. And the other tape measure I can't seem to find. So this is what we gonna do, right? This is my before. You'll see how that gap is almost my whole damn hand, right? So I want to drop at least 2 inches off. I'm thinking 2 inches is probably gonna be half the gap. So I'm thinking that's about 4 inches or so. And what I'm gonna wind up doing, I plan on just cutting the coil springs and calling it a day. For now, you know what I mean? Just a cheap way at the moment. And then I'll probably just buy actual lowering springs for the stiffness and things like that. Because I'm sure the ride's going to be a little weird, you know what I mean? So I'll get some good, and then also put some like good QA1s or something like that on here too. So yeah, I'll show y'all what I wind up doing in the end. Alright, y'all. So got everything out of there. Everything's off. Spindle, all that, right? So here's my spring. So what they said is you gotta measure it, right? If you want, can't do it both. Like 15 and a half. So they say when you cut the spring, you're supposed to cut off, if you want to take 2 inches off, then you cut off 1 inch. So you only cut off half of what you're trying to reach. And just looking at like where my bump stop sits in the front and stuff like that, I'm really not going to be able to do more than 2. If I do any more than that, I'm going to always just be hitting on there. And just looking at all the other websites, I even seen a video from like Detroit Axle or something like that, and they were suggesting not to go more than 2 inches off. I even thought about doing 1.5 inches, but I'm gonna do 2. So basically when I did this, it was at 15 and a half. Right at about 15 and a half. So what I had to do is find 14 and a half, and that's where I cut it. That's interesting. It's literally on the other side. Just that other side would be 14 and a half. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, guys, and I'll get back at you and let you know what happens. Alright, guys, now we getting to the fun part. I'm gonna get straight to the point. So all springs aren't created equal. So what I mean by that is some springs are linear, some springs are progressive. My spring is linear, meaning throughout the whole coil, it's the same spring rate. You know, so you can't just go cutting every spring and expect the same like factory results. So me only cutting, say, looks like I'm only gonna cut a half a coil off, and when I do that, it's gonna be about a half a coil for me. That's gonna give me my 2 inch drop. Now I've seen on the Chevys, you know what I mean, it might be a little bit more than a half inch. It might be they might have to take off a whole inch in order to, you know, reach with that limit. But I'm telling you, for the Ram 1500 for this spring, it is a linear spring, so it's the same rate all the way through. I want to take 2 inches off. So with me taking 2 inches off of my height of the truck, I'm only going to take 1 inch off of this. When I take 1 inch off, that's literally only putting me over here. So I'll show you all the results in the end when I'm done. And yeah, no, didn't go 100% perfect. You know how those YouTube videos do. There was a rusty stud. It got broke. So I'm gonna have to replace that piece of shit. Meanwhile, and that was one of the studs where the bottom of my shot goes through. So yeah, that's fun. Oh, also the rotor was stuck on the other side. It took me 10 minutes to bang on that damn thing to get that off. But back to the gist of what I'm saying, guys. Look. And I'm just gonna find that same point 1 inch lower. So somewhere around there. And I'll mark it and then I'll cut it. I'm not gonna use a torch. Why? Because if you put heat on this, you could soften it enough to where you can move it. You understand what I'm saying? And it won't keep its same shape. Then you'd be short trying to throw it in. Also, how do you know top from bottom? My bad. Top from bottom. See how that's tightly wound right there? And it kind of looks flat. And then look at this end. How it's just wide open. That lets me know it's just the bottom. Also, there is those other coils that doesn't like just go up to nothing. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to hit anything. Doesn't get tight right up in here to wrap around anything. So I can definitely cut this. If yours gets tight up in here and it has to wrap around to something or anything like that, do not cut your coils. Or if you do, please do a video and show us so I can laugh at you. Because I told you not to do it. You understand? Alright, y'all. I'll show you all the results. Crap, I'm getting tired of getting copyright. Hold on. Hey, Google, pause. Keep getting copyright. Got like 4 or 5 videos with copyright. So I got my mark. Whoop, right there. And now all I gotta do is cut. Excuse the sound. Safety first. Got my DeWalt safety glasses. I don't have nothing to hold this daggone thing. Oh well. Almost through. Horseshoes, anybody? I hope that was high. Nah, I made my mark, guys. So now we just sit her back up, measure it, make sure we didn't cut too much, and that's exactly 14 and a half, people. Let me show you. Ooh. See if I can get it there. Pink. Let me go up closer. Pink. Bam. Pretty damn good, if I say so myself. Alright. Now it's just a matter of me putting it back, and then we do the whole checking out the height and all that good stuff. Hey, should I coat the end of this since I cut it so it won't rust so bad? Guys, I'm gonna just go with a little bit of paint or something just to coat it. I don't know, I feel like I should. But other than that, man, that's how you do it. And then you just put everything back the way you found it. All right. So thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Actually, I'd be wrong. Stay tuned. I'm gonna show y'all the clip of before and then after. But other than that, thanks for walking with me. Peace. All right, guys, here's my results. I'm actually not mad at where it's sitting right now. However, it can still go lower because it's sitting on the bump stops. I do have thinner bump stops, so I need to cut off what's already in there. Let me try to. I'm gonna give y'all a daytime still pick in the morning. It just got dark on me. And then they do say that they settle too. The spring or whatever will settle after a while, after, you know, overnight or after a few hours or so. But yeah, that's it. I put her all back. So I'll let y'all know like the results of how she rides and all that. They say it should be fine because it's a linear spring, like I said earlier, which means that it's the same spring rate throughout the full spring. You know, it's not gradual like certain sections being stronger than the other. It's all equal strength spring. So I should still be straight. I didn't cut off much. Dang, I need to show y'all what I cut off, huh? Halloween. Alright, where are we at? Here we go. Like two little horseshoes. Not quite a full round for me. And I'll let y'all know the final results as to exactly how much that winded up taking off. But that right there is an inch off the spring. So, you know, it was at, what was it, 15 and a half. So I dropped it down to 14 and a half. All right, y'all. So thanks for walking with me. Peace. All right. All right, so it's the next day. It's had overnight to settle. It's not bad. So let's see. Keep in mind these tires are big, huge. I do plan on switching to a 255, 50. You know, maybe get like a set of Nittos or something like that. That bird, let's see. It's sitting at right there. Yeah, let's see how big this gap is. I mean, this isn't 100% accurate, guys, but it's about a 3-inch gap between the wheel. Yeah. Now, like I told y'all, it is, let's see, pretty much on the bump stop. See there? So, what I have for that is a low profile bump stop, which is like half the size of what's in there. So I'm gonna pop those out and then see if I can throw these in there. And if I can't throw these in there, you guys know me, I don't mind cutting things off. So I'll cut that off right at the top where the welds are. That way it can still be reused if in the future I need them, or I know somebody that may need them or something like that. I can, sell them or something, anything, and it can just be welded back up there. But what I'm gonna do is cut them off. If these ones that I have don't work, I'll cut the ones there off. If there's not already a hole there, I'll drill a hole through the center, and then I'll just put a washer in the nut. Well, washer, bolt, stud, something. You know what I mean? But this should do it. And then we'll see how much lower it drops, because since it's sitting on the bump stop, it probably will drop down a little bit more. I don't know. I'm not sure. And then I do plan on replacing the shocks. These are the original shocks that was on the truck when I was doing the job. I had to cut the top. I done already got mad and threw the nut that was stuck on there. I mean, it was stuck on there to the point where I was holding the top of it to stop it from spinning. That even started to strip. So there's just no other way. So I cut the driver's side off. I got a new replacement shock coming in today. But other than that, man, actually that would be my tip, is before you go through all that cutting them out and all that stuff, make sure you're prepared to, if you still got your stock shocks on there, make sure you're prepared to replace them. I wasn't, but I'll be good now. All right, y'all. But as always, walk with me. Peace. Matter of fact, hold on. Let's see. Yep. Now my gaps are pretty even. Now this isn't the even. The ground isn't even. But that right there is a stock 99, and you can see. Don't look at the bottom of the kit, but try to look at the bottom of the bumper. This still isn't really all that accurate, but it definitely sits lower. All right, so before I got overzealous and decided to just cut them off, the whole mount and everything where the bump stop goes, I just popped it out to see if the new ones would actually fit in. Because if you look, see, it's about half the size, And then the bottoms that goes into the thing, look at that. It's pretty daggone close. So I'm pretty sure I can get that up in there. And it does protrude out just a little bit, not a whole lot. So we're gonna see if this works, though. It's definitely shorter. See, there's a new one popped up in there. So we're gonna see, man. Hopefully I have a little bit of gap. And it's not sitting on it. If it is, though, like I said, I'll just pop that one out, and the new one I just put in there, and I'll just cut it off. I can only do one side at a time anyway, so I'll know instantly as soon as I drop this jack. Hey, so at first, man, I was like, how in the world do you get these freaking bump stops out? Because I ain't know nothing really too much about them. So, let me get this camera set up. I'm about to try and see if I can let y'all in on some of the goodness here. Probably should have just got this set up beforehand. Ew. Looks kind of nasty under here. Sorry, don't worry about it. It'll all be fixed soon. Most of that stuff is like surface. But, alright, look. So there's the bump stop. Let me see. Can I get a little bit of light? Boom. Bump stop. See those little, see this right here? You got a couple of them going around. So all I did for the first one was just stuck a screwdriver up in there. And that's it. That's how you get it out. You know that dirt that was inside of there. It was a deep hole, see? Full of dirt. Alright, but, so, they said clean it out, make sure nothing's all up in there. But that's it. The next ones, I'll just plop up in here and push them in. But if I do wind up having to cut them off, because you see this distance here, if I do wind up having to cut them, I'll just cut, I'll just cut here on this weld. And then it's actually free all the way around till you get to the back side, like where the spring is. There's another weld there. So it's free on this side as well. So I'll probably just cut this weld, bend it down just enough so that I can get in there. Or what I might do, because I got my cutting wheel, cut this with the cutoff wheel, and then the one if I got to get inside and the spring's in the way, I'll just use my Sawzall and try to keep it, like that. All right, y'all, but that's it. Oh, man, the ground is super cold today. I'm not feeling it at all. So what I had to do last time was kind of get it in there even, like so. I held it and tried to go, like I see there's a thing there, so I'm gonna push up right at it. Anywhere where I see there's one of those prongs, I'm gonna push at. There's another one on this back side. There we go. Oh, she's up in there. So I was able to use the same mounting spot. And if for security reasons, there's a hole in the center here. You just see my finger go in there. I can stick a bolt in here and it'll come out through the top because it goes all the way through. Put a nut, bolt that down, and this won't go anywhere. You know what I mean? Just for like precautions if you're worried about it popping out or anything. I am not. I don't even know if it's going to work yet for me when I lower this thing. All right, y'all. Safety first. This is not one of the ones that got recalled. Had this thing now for a good bit. No issues. I actually, matter of fact, I bought it right after the recall. So after they changed all of them out at Harbor Freight. See, goes all the way to the bumper now. Pretty close. It is on the bumper. Definitely lower in the front, guys. Alright. This thing used to be tall to me last night, and I'm short. Oh wait. Guys. I was wrong. That's gonna work out perfectly. Ta-da. We good there. Yes, sir. All right. Hold on, guys. Because the wheels still turn, so. Oh, yeah, there's space. That's all I wanted to see. Put a good set of shocks in there. Like I might go with, I'm thinking about going with some QA1s. The, crap, man, I can't think of the, you know, the double adjustable where you can do the rebound and all that. All right, y'all. So, all in all, let's see. I need to turn the wheel straight. Give me a second. Uh-oh. Guys, I need a new stand. Help me out. I'm broke. Any money I do get, I spend on this daggone truck. Last couple times I started it, it started weird. Sound wise. Man, I like the stance. I remember getting smaller tires. Thing always does that when my battery is weak. It always starts up kind of weird, kind of funky. That's what it was. But now my gaps look pretty even, guys. I like it. It's a much better stance now. And that was cutting off, just cutting the coil spring itself. Yeah, that's much better. Cause that's a 17-inch wheel, and y'all know these things come with 20s. And with a 17-inch wheel and tire setup, it doesn't. It's just weird.
Red car, yellow truck, bet they both gon' clear the